channel. Pardon the long intro. YouTube doesn't upload my videos right away. We're going to check out this video regarding the recent assassination of Charlie Kirk by a fella whose channel is called Black fucking whoop ass Black Scout Survival. This guy seems like he's a pretty straight shooter, formidable. I take it he's a veteran. And so without further ado, guys, welcome to my channel. We're checking out Black Scout Survival. Remember the channel, Black Scout Survival. And this gentleman is going to elaborate about how the Charlie Kirk assassination was a planned deal. Just like the kid that we don't know who he was, that was in a BlackRock commercial that tried to kill Trump, and the cops fucked that up too. So like, yeah, without further ado, here's that channel. Welcome to my channel. Thank you.
Guys, welcome to the show. They assassinated Charlie Kirk. A father.
Oh, my bad.
A husband. A man standing on stage doing what he always did, speaking his mind. They shot him down in front of his wife and his kids and a bunch of his supporters. And the most disgusting part is that the bullet wasn't the end of it. The real sickness showed itself after, when the left cheered, when they mocked, when they celebrated a man's death as if it was a sporting event. That's who these people are, and tonight I'm not going to hold back at all. So I got a lot of details for you I'm going to go into, and why I believe this was a professional hit. This had a lot of precision and planning. It wasn't sloppy. This wasn't some random kid with a pistol in a back row. This definitely, in my opinion, was a professional hit, man. Eyewitnesses described the shooter in full black tactical gear, helmet, vest, and long rifle. The shot came from a rooftop nearly 200 yards away. Now let me play first off the audio recording of the call-in.
The CS building is just east of the library. He's wearing jeans, black shirt, black mask, long rifle.
Jeans, black vest, black mask, and a long rifle. Look at the about 200 yards right here.
And didn't the cops arrest some random vagrant bum that had like a pellet gun? Like, how do you fuck that up? I mean, obviously it's a decoy. I mean, their job is to know calibers and models and shit.
From a rooftop. This wasn't a guess, man. This wasn't a spray and pray, but deliberate precision strike. And for this type of operation, the biggest thing is your exfil, your escape and evasion plan, okay? An eyewitness says the shot that took the life of Charlie Kirk was fired right after he was asked about trans violence, as if this was coordinated for that moment. He also said he believes it was just it wasn't just one person acting alone, but several people working together. He also claims that someone in the crowd confessed to shooting Charlie Kirk right after it happened, even though he didn't have a weapon. Now, I'm on Instagram. You should go follow me there because I was posting updates as I was getting them. As soon as I was getting videos and information, I was posting it there. And in one of the posts, I had this man here. He says, I have the right to remain silent. Okay. So everyone started commenting saying, no, that's not the guy. That's not the guy. They haven't found the guy. Now this video, this man said he was the shooter. He told the police that. So obviously probably involved. And then you hear him saying, I have the right to remain silent. Why would you say that? If you were just an innocent person, just a random person they picked up, why would you be saying that? Why would you say, I would have done it again? Okay. There's also some video I came across that there was a man crouched in black.
You think he'd already be placed? You would think that.
On the roof, okay? Now, you see it there. This looks like someone in the prone position, okay? You can see a little movement there. So you can see it almost looks like a head and shoulders. So that's the thing is that whenever you're like in the military, man, especially snipers, what they do is break up their head and shoulders because that's how you easily identify a human being. And you see now the head is down, okay? Now, eyewitnesses, and I saw the video as well, it's disturbing. It looked like a heavy caliber, right? This type of operation took planning and obviously some marksmanship training. Police detained the one man I showed, right?
Guys, pardon me. I want to hear what he said. He said, I heard light caliber elsewhere. Did he say heavy caliber?
Break up their head and shoulders because that's how you easily identify a human being. And you see now the head is down, okay? Now, eyewitnesses, and I saw the video as well, it's disturbing. It looked like a heavy caliber, right? This type of operation took planning and obviously some marksmanship training. Police detained the one man I showed, right? And he told them he'd do it again. Like obviously some marksmanship training. Police detained the caliber.
What caliber?
Right?
Sorry, guys.
Eyewitnesses, and I saw the video as well, it's disturbing. It looked like a heavy caliber, right? This type of operation took planning and obviously some marksmanship training. Police detained the one man I showed, right? And he told them he'd do it again, like he was meant to throw them off the trail. A second man was brought in and interrogated. Cash Patel said, oh, we got a guy in custody. He was released, which means the real shooter's still at large. Translation, they don't have their man. This is not a Thomas Crooks, okay? I've got another video here of someone running across the roof right after the shooting. You see that? Looks like they have a backpack on as well. And obviously they would have had to pre-position themselves, food, water, and such, because they would have had to got there before the crowd. Okay? So no telling how long this individual was there. He had to sustain himself for however long. Okay? And the timing of this is what really makes my blood boil. This was the moment that Charlie was asked about gun violence, and he starts his answer and he said, does that include gang violence? And bang, a shot drops him. That's not coincident. That is fear. That is an execution designed to make a statement. Okay? Absolutely.
Wow. Let's hear that again.
This was a shot. That is the moment that Charlie was asked about gun violence, and he starts his answer and he said, does that include gang violence? And bang, a shot drops him. That's not coincident. That is fear. That is an execution designed to make a statement. Okay? Absolutely. This was a shot. I mean, because this was only like his second question, I believe, when this took place. So this was him right before. I have a video of him as soon as he got there, passing out hats. People are cheering, he's passing out hats. Very tragic. Very tragic indeed. Now, again, it was a horrible thing to see, man, and I feel terrible that his family saw this, right? This is going to haunt them the rest of their lives. I'm not going to show the shooting, nor did I post on Instagram, man. And I'm not trying to virtue signal or anything, but I can't be someone that posts something that tragic. It's not something fun to see. It's a horrific thing, okay? The thing that really got me today, though, was the evil response from the left. They revealed who they
You're watching Black Scout Survival.
really are. Instead of mourning a man murdered in front of his family, they laughed. They memed it. They posted that he deserved it. They mocked his pro-Second Amendment stance. Some activists actually typed out, "good riddance." Evil. That's the only word for it, man. I'm going to play some clips here, right? The media, the first spin was they tried to push it was maybe a supporter firing off a celebration shot. A celebration shot, man. Are you kidding me? Listen.
Difficult news, Kira, because...
Not that one. Let me see if I can get it up real quick.
Yeah, and again, to emphasize what you just emphasized, we don't know any of the full details of this. That we don't know if this was a supporter shooting their gun off in celebration, or so we have no idea.
A supporter shooting their gun off in celebration. Man, you kidding me? Before the blood was even dry, man, they were running cover. Disgusting. Here's BBC talking about she's never posted a Trump post before, but she's thinking about doing it now.
I've never shared a Trump post in my life. I will contemplate sharing this one. But what I will say with a caveat, he wasn't admired and loved by all. So that's an exaggeration, but the truth is, it doesn't matter.
True.
It doesn't matter. Sorry, let me finish.
They were trying to cut her off because obviously, it's crazy.
Single shot struck Charlie Kirk. Eyewitnesses said they saw a lot of blood coming from him, and then they all scattered. Now the university is urging everyone to leave campus to allow police to conduct the investigation. The suspect that was taken into custody, according to eyewitness accounts, was heard screaming, "I do it again," described as an older male wearing a blue shirt, someone who has white hair, but we've heard nothing else about the suspect, if it is indeed himself, or...
So that was the guy that I showed, and that's why I believe this is something that was included multiple people, right? And horrible. Now, a few days ago, Charlie Kirk posted this. "Hey, Stephen Furtick, you're the biggest pastor in Charlotte, North Carolina, with tens of millions of social media followers. Why haven't you spoke out against the murder of Iryna Zarutska? You posted to your millions of followers about George Floyd, yet won't mention Iryna. Why?" Absolutely agree. Here's another disgusting post here from this person here, Punished Mother. They're always got some weird name. Right? Maybe Charlie Kirk shouldn't have spent years being a hateful demagogic fascist, and this wouldn't have happened. Maybe he should take some personal responsibility.
Okay, about this supposedly conservatives are hateful and shit. All we're asking is, if you're dying to monogamously suck the same dick and marry the same fucking gender, don't go to a traditional church and make them or ask them to do it. Go to like the Universalist, Unitarian, fucking rainbow churches. All we're saying is, hey, you're not pro-choice. You're killing a fucking baby. And basically that, all we're saying is that on the right, traditional values, traditional conservative values, our notion of democracy is free speech in the Constitution. And Democrats, for some reason, everybody on the far left, their notion of democracy always revolves around them pseudoly making up this arbitrary right that always revolves in some form of killing unborn babies or being weird to kids, like drag queen hour and story time. It's always about some sexual weirdness in front of kids and killing unborn babies. Or it's always, aka, the Democrats' notion of what freedom and democracy is always devolves into killing babies and sucking dicks. You cannot break that common E equals MC squared, pi equals 3.14 something. The Democrats' notion of what democracy is supposed to be in 2025 and beyond and before is the vexatious, vehement right to kill babies and suck dicks. That's what it comes down to.
Saying this about a man that has passed and was murdered in front of his children. The truth, though, is that Charlie was not some radical extremist like they want to make him out to be. He was a family man, a husband, a father, and politically, he was moderate as you can get.
I'm a radical extremist. They can fuck themselves. Quit being politically correct, guys. You're in a civil war. Accept it.
Right, you know what I mean? But that didn't matter because when the machine wants you gone, moderation doesn't save you. They still painted him as an evil fascist. They slapped him with labels, racist, bigot, dangerous. They dehumanized him in the press, in the culture, and until they built a caricature that people could.
Well, it doesn't help that Mr. Trump has not fought for his fucking presidential power to give us the Epstein list to go fuck people up. It doesn't help that America is still wiping Israel's ass and wasting money with that bullshit. We're still balls deep in Ukraine. None of these tariffs have made anybody's income tax go bye-bye like he promised. And I don't know if Social Security is ever a reality again. So
Haiti. And that is exactly what they're doing across the board. They're trying to hate us. You know, if you always see the leftists, especially as of late, man, they're the ones doing all these heinous things, right? And once they're trying to dehumanize us, right? People that care about family, God, freedom. And once you dehumanize someone, man, violence becomes easy. The smear campaign that the left has been doing forever now, Joe Biden, Kamala, all those are to blame too. That was the first shot. The bullet was the punctuation. You have AOC, Ilhan Omar, all these people. This is precisely what the left has been doing for years. They've been balkanizing this country, carpeting us into.
Yeah, but also, guys, the Patriot Act fucked us all out of like our Fourth Amendment rights. And back then, we were all waving flags and saying death to the Saracens, and then starting that whole Desert Storm war again. And then COVID came, mandating you to take a fucking vaccine and jab it up your ass, or you're gonna lose your job, right? The Second Amendment is fucked everywhere you go, right? And Zuckerberg controls what the fuck you get to say on the only social media fucking platforms there is. And God forbid you use blunt fucking speech and real fucking news on YouTube, and then the algorithm wipes its fucking ass with you. And what I'm trying to say is, none of you MAGA motherfuckers, none of you Republican motherfuckers are actually gonna stop LARPing your tactical and survival prepper shit. Get off your ass and fucking do what Thomas Jefferson said and water the tree of liberty. Freedom only comes with blood. All this peaceful persuasion by pacificity and trying to make peace with your enemies, that's not Christian. You're taking that out of context. You cannot reason with demons. You're in a civil war, and you guys are late to the party. If George Floyd and Trayvon Martin and Martin Luther King, if something like that happens, you have riots. When ICE is concise, you have riots. If you pop a cap at somebody trying to fuck up your shit, your government, your law enforcement, the judge is more afraid of pissing off Jesse Jackson and a bunch of rioters and looters and the family of the fucking assailant that captured shit, and vice versa. They're more concerned about pissing off the savages and angering and making them riot than they care about your right to the pursuit of self-preservation and pursuit of happiness and fucking life. You understand that us right-wingers, We accepted this shit happening because we closed a blind eye. When Kyle Rittenhouse went to fucking jail, was about to go to prison for life, when that January 6th fake ass shit, when those freedom patriots went to prison, we didn't fucking go in an uproar. When Iryna Zarutska got fucking stabbed by that piece of shit, you don't see conservatives rioting in North Carolina because the ugly ass fucking judge took the killer's fucking side. You MAGA, Republican, I'm libertarian. You guys need to get off your ass and fucking do what Thomas Jefferson fucking said, but you're cucked. You're listening to the stupid shit as if they're supposed to be docile, Dobie Gillis ass motherfuckers, all pacifists and shit. That's why you're watching their posterity become voyeuristic TikTok watching pieces of shit, because you're fucking letting this happen. This is not a Christian country, it's a Masonic deist piece of fucking shit.
The tribes, stoking hate, turning neighbor against neighbor. They want us fighting each other, tearing each other apart, because a nation divided is a nation easier to control. They don't want unity. They want a civil war by 1,000 cuts. And you know, the left constantly talks about they're the party of love. And
you see like frogs boiling in a pot of water. The water is not hot enough yet. All you nice middle class people are still living the dream. You're more concerned in your fucking trip to Havasu, riding a Sea-Doo, playing with your golf clubs, shooting your fucking skeet or some shit, that you forgot you had a duty to your ancestors and your posterity by getting off your ass a long time ago and initiating what's already started, fucking civil war. It's a culture clash. It's not about race. It's about nationalism. They don't give a fuck about this country. I'm talking about your opposition, Mr. Conservatives. They don't give a fuck.
Sort of things. They are the party of the devil. You never hear conservatives doing these psycho things. They'll try to say it that you're doing it, but they're the ones who are doing it. They're the ones that take.
They're gonna bring up Timothy McVeigh.
Rifles into schools and these sort of things, right? They've tried everything possible. They've tried black versus white, and which they've truly succeeded at that. Iryna Zarutska, prime example. And this is
what the problem is these MAGA guys and high-class suburban people whose dad taught them how to sling a tool. They got this Ford F-150 and the white picket fence dream, middle-class society dream. They're too scared to admit that they're long overdue to spill some blood to take their country back. That's what the problem is.
What you need to understand, man, the left is rotten. They're not just wrong on policy. They're spiritually sick, evil, hateful human beings. Even on my post today, man, I had sick people commenting things about.
King David in the book of Psalms says he hated his enemies with a perfect hatred. You guys need a little bit more righteous indignation.
Kirk. You don't see conservatives celebrating death. You don't see men on the right cheering when tragedy strikes. But the left, they live in bitterness, man. They thrive on envy. They're lazy.
Well, King David said in the Bible that the righteous will bathe their feet in the blood of the wicked. Talk about rejoicing.
Entitled, empty. They don't want to work. They don't want to sacrifice. They don't want to earn anything. They wake up mad. They go to bed mad.
See, this is the conservative idea of virtue. The conservative idea of virtue, the modern day conservative virtue, is your productivity. It's how much money you're making that everybody can pull themselves up from the bootstrap. It's boomer tard shit. That if you just show some gumption and pound some pavement, and you could be successful like Trump too. It's the American dream. You guys, you're conflating moral virtue with fucking social status. Like I like this guy. I hope he could whoop my ass. Maybe he does Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Black Scout survival. He's an alpha male. But these MAGA tards, these boomer tards, they don't understand. What the fuck does it look? I understand they're pieces of shit. I understand most of the left are lazy fucks that live with their mom at age 30 something, and they don't want to get off their ass. But you are making yourself look kind of, it's a fallacy. You say you're Christian, blah blah blah. You're conflating moral virtue with social status and success. Not everybody who has success and makes good money is evil or a shitbag. So if you guys are not really making sense, it's a fucking fallacy.
In between, they look for targets to project their misery onto. I see it every day. They hated Charlie not because he was dangerous, but because he stood up, because he built something, because he pushed back against their narratives. His very existence reminded them.
Because they're willfully ignorant. They cannot be bargained with. You cannot love demons. You cannot make peace with evil. You have to squash it. They only understand will to power. They never had a dad to get their ass kicked by. You guys need to do it, and it's long overdue. And someone told you guys it's racist, or it's taboo, or it's not Christian to say this shit. That's why I'm asking you guys, like and subscribe for a motherfucker who's willing to say it how it fucking is, while we still have fucking free speech, and I can still keep going live. Thank you guys.
Their own weaknesses. And for that, they wanted him erased. That is evil. He hit them with facts they couldn't argue because they lacked the intelligence to do so. They struggle like Biden to put him.
They lack the benevolence. Like, this is a fallacy again. That it goes back to whatever philosopher said. Is it your surroundings that make you a piece of shit or a good person? Or are you a piece of shit already that made your surroundings fucked? Right? So this is using libtard logic and saying like, oh, it's their lack of intelligence. Oh, he was schizophrenic. Oh, he can plead insanity. Oh, no, they need to get their ass fucking kicked. Say it how it is. I'll do it. I don't know why you guys aren't doing it.
A full sentence together. I guess that's why he was such a good mascot for them, because they're all that way. Whenever you place an argument with him, start showing them facts.
This guy's pretty cool, man. Why do I have a smaller channel? I'm telling you guys straight, man. This is regular MAGA fucking logic, dude. That like, oh, it's boomer tard. You just get off your ass and fucking whip their ass. You have Armalites.
Receipts. They go off on their feelings. Oh, it's racist or whatever. And man, those words I'm so tired of those words. I don't even care. That kind of stuff does not bother me whatsoever. You can call me whatever. It does not bother me. I could care less.
Don't bother
right?
me. I'm barely white.
But the darker thing right now is that if you look around, and I felt this before today, nothing feels right. Things feel fractured. A lot of people are cheering. I talked about this earlier in the year when Donald Trump got elected, that everybody was cheering and like everything's back to normal. To me, I think things are going to get worse.
Yeah.
Nothing is right now. Nothing feels right.
Strong men make good
if you look around.
We're being weak.
We just had Israel bomb Qatar. They bombed somewhere else today. This week, without telling Donald Trump, until the bombs were already falling. Russian drones breaching Polish airspace, testing NATO like they want to trigger Article 5. And at home, our political leaders are covering up Epstein files while pretending the world isn't collapsing. A beautiful young woman just got...
Sorry, guys, if you don't speak Christianese. In a Christian paradigm, it's because you MAGA fuckers and Republicans, you don't care about you don't care about eliminating the smut, the voyeurism, the pornography, the idolatry, the abundance of idleness out of your country. You don't even know what those words mean because you're not Orthodox. Protestantism, evangelical, whatever the fuck, Zionist, fucking dispensationalist trash that Jay Dyer can explain and expound a lot better than me. Remember, guys, Jay Dyer, he's smarter than Alex Jones, goes more in depth. I just don't know if they're into theology, and not all his videos are religious. Remember the name, guys, Jay Dyer. He'll tell you about the world.
I'm on public transportation. Think about it now. She was safer in a country at actual war than
Iryna Zarutska, whatever her beautiful name is, if she defected to Russia instead of USA, she would still have been alive. What does that tell you about the state of our country, guys? You let this shit happen because you're afraid of them more than they're afraid of you.
Public transportation in Charlotte, North Carolina. She was safer in a damn war zone than here in our country. And now, on American soil, a conservative figure is gunned down in public during a Q&A in front of thousands, and the shooter still at large. And the thing is, dude, the world is so crazy right now. These leftists, they get so bitter because they want to demand you believe what they believe, and if you don't, they're gonna take you out.
That's the cure, right?
The right ain't like that. Trying to force their ideologies. If you don't believe their ideologies, they don't want you to exist. You tell me again, this is random. Tell me again, the world.
Yeah, they don't want you to exist. Do they own Armalites? Do they trade tactical? Get off your ass, guys. Go water that fucking Liberty tree.
Is it tilting towards chaos? What I've been saying, it's going to get worse before it gets.
How can we water Liberty tree? Big Daddy Trump's already in office fighting our cause. You can start with that piece of shit, ugly ass bitch mayor that said Iryna Zarutska that her life was shit and that we should feel more sorry for the fucking bum that killed her in Charlotte, North Carolina, whatever the fuck. I didn't even know they had subways.
Worse. Now, Donald Trump did order flags flown at half-mast for the rest of the week to honor Charlie Kirk.
That's going to
But let's be real, man. Half-mast isn't enough because this wasn't just an attack on Charlie. This was a warning to everyone who stands against the evil machine. They're telling you to shut up or else. They're coming to silence anyone who disagrees with them, and they will do it right in front of your kids. These people don't have hearts.
They have stolen Glocks. We have Armalites and shit, guys. What the fuck, man? Somebody's not doing their job.
They're true evil. And the world is infested with it right now. You know, and as us, the part for many of you.
In a Christian paradigm, we contributed to the shit in the world that you just discussed. We're the epicenter of Hollywood. We're the epicenter of pornography. We're the epicenter of fucking trash nutrition. And everything in our society is fake, materialistic. It judges, it's hypergamous, like bigger, better deal kind of fucking shit. We're all ass backwards. And you guys are letting your society decay because at best you're deist, evangelical Protestants, and you don't have the paradigm, you don't have the history going back to St. Emperor Constantine the Great. Pastor Billy Bob tells you he's a bad guy.
You may not want to hear. You're already in a battlefield. I've been saying this, said it last night, I think. Stop pretending otherwise. You need to be prepared like your life depends on it because it does. Every day.
Yeah, but this preparation in MAGAnese and fucking Republican talk, that preparation means, oh, I'm going to wait till Jason Aldean and Legion's in charge when they try that in my hometown. And I'm going to store a bunch of MREs and ammunition so we can continue to shoot skeet and just bunker down and wait till the COVID mandate lockdown passes in our house that's far away in the secluded in the fucking, what's that, urban or rural areas. And we're just going to look out for each other and maybe share like a can of beans with other families that only give a fuck about their own families. Instead of getting off your ass and branching out and squashing this problem. That means bunker down, stay at home, let somebody else handle it. We believe in peaceful coercion. If we sing Kumbaya and if we think happy thoughts and spread the love, this problem's going to go away. And let's forget that Thomas Jefferson said to get off our ass and water the tree of liberty with blood and the blood of patriots and tyrants, because that's taboo. We don't want to be considered racist. We don't want to be considered fascist or some shit like that.
Out of your house, you're in a war zone. Aware to stop living distracted. Never turn your back in public. Never.
You don't live in a war zone, man. You live like in the countryside, far away from the ghetto, dude. Toby McGillanuggets and Humberto, the horny Haitian homunculus, They're like in New York. They're like in fucking Miami. They're like in LA. You guys live far the fuck away from where these problems are real, and the very few conservatives that live in those areas, we're not going to branch together with the government's ass because you're too busy writing sea-doos and going to Lake Havasu and shooting skeet with the Second Amendment, and you're too busy enjoying the middle-class American dream to lose a few, spill some blood, and squash this problem once and for all, like Thomas Jefferson and Ben Franklin said. Ben Franklin said, if you do not get off your ass and fight for freedom, you don't fucking deserve it. If you trade freedom for the fight for freedom for pacifistic security, you don't deserve security or fucking freedom. It's just like, it's like Protestants. They think I have a monopoly on the Bible, but then they can't quote shit. And I'm a fucking idiot, and I know more about the quotes of their. I was barely born in this country.
Your face to your phone. Situational awareness is your first weapon and probably the strongest weapon you have. Physical fitness, if you can't sprint 200 yards with a pack on, you're dead weight. Strong body, strong mind is not an option. Okay? Weapons. Carry daily. Carry them. Firearm, blade.
You might not be Christians, but I know this from anecdotal experience by sparring fucking people on steroids. If you regard the virtues of the Almighty, you can overthrow the government with a shotgun or a fucking tactical fly swatter.
Light, have layers, train with them until it's instinct. Have medical gear. In case something goes bad, you can render aid to yourself or to your loved ones quickly. A go bag. Man, I've been preaching this for years. A go bag, right? I made this one so it's convenient to carry. The ghost pack for.
You probably want a bigger go bag than that, guys. You want something that wraps around your hips so it can carry water without agonizing your shoulders. You want something that can either boil or purify water, like a Sawyer Mini, which is a filtration straw. If the tent is too much to fucking carry, get yourself some like really sturdy jeans, good Salomon boots, any kind of boot that's not going to kill your feet long run. For example, when I go treacherously hiking, I don't want to bring a tent because that's too much shit to carry. I have a huge ass waterproof jacket that can kind of serve as a blanket, as in sleeping up against a tree. You also want to buy earplugs because you don't want insects crawling in your ears when you're asleep, because you will be so exhausted that you won't fucking know, and you're going to have some kind of leech attached to your brain or some shit like that. And let's see what else he says. That's the smallest go bag I ever seen.
Situations. Build it, stage it, drill it, water, filtration, medical, extra mags, tourniquet.
If you do not have a gun, it's good to carry, a fucking gun. You need a knife that can chop wood and scrape a ferro rod, because lighters, like cigarette lighters, will not always work and they don't last forever. A ferrocerium rod will last almost indefinitely, and the best ferrocerium rod out there is made by a place in Austria called Uberleben. It's spelled exactly how it sounds, and you could get it from Knife Country, USA.
Cash, burner phone, map, compass. I'm not talking about toys, tools for survival. Procedures. Don't just own your gear, know how to use it under pressure. Have exfil routes planned, rally points set, rehearse scenarios until its response is muscle memory, because when it's go time, you won't rise to the occasion, you will fall to your level of training. And your family needs to know how to.
That's true. Can you trust your neighbors, though, to really rally together? And when we rally together, what are we going to do? We should have already rallied together and whooped the government's ass a long time ago. But we're not real Christians. We'll be lost. We'll overthrow the government and then argue amongst ourselves what the fucking rules should be from then on.
My first day, they know how to run firearms, defend themselves, because maybe dad isn't always going to be around. Maybe mom isn't always going to be around. This is not paranoia.
I don't know what state that you live in, but you can have all the firearms be prepped as much as you want. When shit hits the fan, you're going to be stuck in traffic. There's going to be checkpoints and shit, and more than likely they're going to be confiscating or looking for weapons. And if not, it's just going to be for example, guys. When shit hits the fan that day, the end of the world as we know it. And everybody's living like Mad Max and shit. I know that the first thing the cops are going to do is whoop my ass if I'm walking around with my shotgun. So you probably have to invest in a good pistol.
This is the reality. Monsters walk among us, and they're not hiding anymore. They're doing it right in broad daylight in front of thousands of people, in front of wife and children. They don't care. The war has already started. Charlie Kirk's assassination is a shot fired in the open war against anyone who refuses to kneel. The man in black may have pulled the trigger, but every leftist is dancing on his grave is complicit. Their venom, their smears, their hatred put that target on his head, and yours as well. Don't let anyone gaslight you. Don't let anyone tell you this is business as usual, because it's not. We are already in a war. Not a war that you or I chose, but a war you're in. And the only question now is whether you prepare, arm up, and stand ready, or whether you sit weak scrolling and hoping evil passes you by and you just say this is clickbait.
Okay, so that video is pretty much over. If you guys want to stay tuned and watch Jesse on Fire, what he elaborated on today regarding the assassination of Charlie Kirk. So give me a second, guys. Jesse on Fire is a very likable news source. Let's see, 10 hours ago. I don't know if this is his first.
Relax, darling. Emma's here.
So it looks like Charlie Kirk has been confirmed dead. Obviously, we hope that was not going to be the case. But A Real America's Voice is Charlie Kirk's own outfit, and they announced it on air. So we're going to take a look at that. And then we're going to take a look at some left-wing people who are celebrating this, as you would expect, right? You would expect, of course, like left-wing people celebrating this, like celebrating, not like celebrating, okay? But here's them announcing that right here. Let's listen to this together.
Yeah, you got it. I'm going to look at our fearless leader, Rob Sig, who is pacing back and forth to give us, tell us he's passed. Am I hearing this? Control room?
It's right. It's Solomon put it up. It's on Just the News.
Oh, then it's.
They're reporting. John Solomon's reporting on Just the News that he's passed. Yes, is this what I'm hearing? Yes, can I hear it?
Yes.
Yes. Wow. Right here, we're having this moment, guys. Let's go around the horn, Gino. You continue on the horrendous news that Charlie Kirk has passed.
Well, my prayers are.
This is his outlet. Okay. Now I am hearing that the real shooter, like the guy that I put up in my previous video, the videos of the guy that had gotten arrested, that guy might be crazy. He might not be the actual shooter. I don't know. But what is confirmed is that Charlie Kirk is dead, and because this is his own network.
Or for Erica, for her children, for his family. This is beyond devastating, Eric. I've known Charlie, as I said, since he was a child, running around, coming to conservative events. Let's pray.
Yeah. Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah.
Ben, your thoughts?
Pray for his wife, his kids that aren't going to have a father. I pray that all of the people that he's touched would be comforted by the Lord right now. I pray that his parents would feel that presence of the Lord that only the Lord can fill. That emptiness that...
I can't watch this. Monsters, dude. Now, First, I'm going to show you a clip of Kyle Kalinske when he saw, like, Kyle Kalinske, who knows Charlie Kirk, has like worked with Charlie Kirk before, but you know, obviously he's a hardcore leftist. You guys tell me if he looks like his emotional reaction to this is appropriate. You know, we're gonna look at that. Then I'm gonna show you some people from TikTok who are just directly celebrating the fact that this happened. And then of course, I have to look and see what Destiny's saying, because like, I assume that Destiny's gonna be like dancing on Charlie's grave. Although he actually knows Charlie Kirk, like Destiny and Charlie Kirk have like done events before, and I have this feeling that Destiny's not quite as big of a monster as he presents himself. So let's just see, you know, we'll look into that as well. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I appreciate you guys doing that. This is a horrific tragedy. You know, the reason I come off like this, watch my last video. I knew he was dead. I knew there was no way. And I had my kind of other reaction to this in that video, but man, the video, like his own, like go to his wife's Instagram, bro. This is like, oh my God, dude.
At Les Schwab, our above and beyond service means more hustle, less hassle. That's why we're proud to say you get more from less.
Coming soon, a brand new Planet Fitness is opening near you. Join today and save $5 a month on our most popular membership, the PF Black Card, just $19.99 a month, and get all the perks. Join today for $1 down at the new Planet Fitness, coming soon to Hammond. Offer ends September 12th.
Like, why? Why?
Sorry, guys. They play a faggot ass
That baby.
commercial.
Okay, let's look at this other stuff. Just hopping up here to record this real quick to make sure that when Kyle Kalinske realized.
Look at this fucking godless douchebag. These are the fuckers that inherit the world and lose their soul, just like Jesus Christ said. Fuck him in the name of Christ.
That this video tipped his hand a little bit much, you know, where he smirks his way through announcing Charlie Kirk's shooting. He's seen the video too, where he knows Charlie Kirk is going to die. I want you guys to see his face, and you tell me if this is the side that you want to be on. Okay, let's just watch Charlie. Let's watch Kyle Kalinske. Because look, like, if I saw a video of Kyle Kalinske, who I think is a scum-sucking garbage pail kid, but he's got kids. If I saw him get murdered on a stage, I would be showing pictures of his family and talking about what a tragedy is. Let's see how he feels, though, okay? Here you go.
Hey guys, so I'm literally sitting here. I was recording my show, and Crystal interrupted, and she never interrupts the show. It's very rare she interrupts the show. I saw she texted me first, and I couldn't respond because I was doing my show, and she actually walks in, and this never happens, and she goes, Charlie Kirk was shot. I'm like,
now let's just watch from here. Okay, because he's seen the video, and let's just watch him smirk his way through this, dude. He's seen the video. He saw Charlie get murdered on television, okay? And then listen, the face never lies, dude. The face never, ever lies.
Like, what? And she's like, he might be dead. Like, hit him straight up, like, in his neck. It looked like he got hit. And I didn't want to see the video, but I was scrolling through Twitter, and I just saw the video, and man, it's bad. It is not good. It is not good. I saw they had one guy who was seemingly like some old guy who they have in custody, who's the suspect. I don't want to comment too much now on like if that actually is the guy, because this is very early. This just happened. I really have no actual information on it, but it is astonishing. This is absolutely astonishing.
Smirk, 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 smirk.
And I mean, shit, this is America now, right? Like, this is the political violence that we have. And it's a terrifying thing. I mean, Charlie Kirk.
Okay, give an example of the political violence going in the opposite direction. I'm waiting, dude. Give an example. When a left-wing person in your guys' position gets shot at, okay?
Oh, okay. They're gonna bring up Dylan Roof, who shot up a black church, some punk ass kid. They're gonna say some shit like Timothy McVeigh. There is high conservative terrorism or whatever the fuck too. but we don't own up to them. We don't accept them.
I'm still waiting, dude.
Kirk is literally like in the same business.
I am not a racist. For all the shit that I say about how the government's fucked, Dylan Roof is a piece of shit. Like what the fuck is that, man? We want colored people on our side. That is cowardly. That's fucked. So just for the record, I'm a person who would never stand for that shit. That's not even a virtue signal whatsoever.
That I'm in, right? And he was doing this event in public, some university, I think in Utah, and had this giant crowd that was watching him, and I guess he was debating people or something. But the same business I'm in, and it just, you know, it reminds you, it's a stark reminder, like, given the current political environment and how fucking off the rails everything is, how unhinged everything is, how divided everybody is, this is a possibility. Like, this stuff happens. And so you guys,
doesn't happen to you guys, to be clear. Okay? Doesn't happen to you guys. You guys make believe like the right is some big threat of violence towards you guys, but it is not, right? This happens on the other side.
What I've noticed talking to some liberals is that both the right and both the left fear some kind of conspiracy theory, like boogeyman of each other, meaning like the right believes, I'm just exaggerating and embellishing. It's like people on the right believe that there's a global cabal of fucking lizard people who worship Moloch from the fucking Old Testament, killing babies, and they're the blood lineage of all the presidents. And actually, I do believe all that, by the way. I don't care what you think. So shit, like, I don't know about lizards or whatever, Nephilim. So they think that, and then eventually the left is going to side with the Antichrist to issue the mark of the beast, and etc., etc. And the left boogeymans and fears the right, as in the right it belongs to some, broad global network of eventual Gestapo or fascist Nazis coming to kill a bunch of gays and blacks. Really unreasonable shit when they it's just fucking retarded, you know. So you get the point that both sides say the same shit about each other. It's just, again, it goes back to what I said, guys. On the liberal side, their note, okay, start over. On the conservative side, the universal thing that we have in common, libertarians, Republicans, whatever, middle-leaning, whatever people, we believe that democracy means free speech and constitutional rights of self-preservation and dignity, right? The left universally believes that what democracy means is always the rights to the right to kill babies, pro-choice, and to suck dicks, like fucking being weird around kids, telling kids they can get fucking sex changes, having fucking straight up flagrant homo sapien looking fucking weird ass fucks, having the rights to use the same fucking bathroom as your daughter and shit. That is the left's notion of democracy, and that they conflate the civil rights movement with all these fucking weirdos that always want to fuck with kids. They either want the right to kill them in the fucking womb, called fucking pro-choice, or they want the kids to be groomed toward sexual fucking weirdness. That's the difference.
Where Trump gets shot and Charlie Kirk gets murdered, right?
Those who answer the call of the vagabond know that the best stories aren't
the other side, where Trump gets shot and Charlie Kirk gets murdered, right? And when that happens, not only is he smirking his way through it, does he talk about Charlie Kirk's family? Okay, when I did this, remember, we were looking at Charlie Kirk's family, right? We're looking at his daughter. We're looking at the clips of his daughter running up to him, and I couldn't even fucking talk about it. Okay, what does Kyle fucking Kalinske talk about? He's all, geez Louise, this could happen to me. Can you imagine? I could get shot. Jesus. You fucking self-centered cockbag. Yeah, so there's also this, right? Of course, guys. Of course. The the obligatory left-wing people who go to, celebrate, right? So this one, let's, I can't play the sound, but it doesn't matter sound. So this guy's first Nepal, and now Charlie Kirk shot in Utah. Is something happening? Yay! Charlie Kirk shot. When you've been manifesting it to happen, but then it ends up happening to Charlie Kirk. Charlie Kirk in the neck of the Utah man. Dude, every one of these fucking girls, okay? Don't say that. Don't say that.
Each one of those chicks are either going to get impregnated by some thuggish piece of shit that's going to be an embarrassment to the next guy that's not going to be there, or their dad, or they're going to settle for some fuck boy that will turn away and run if they get stabbed on a subway.
Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I have some thoughts of what could happen to them. That is absolutely insane. That is, let's see what Destiny had to say, actually. Let's just see together if Destiny actually has the balls. Well, let's go through it, right? So Destiny says, I want to hear a single large political figure on the right say we need to bring down the rhetoric temperature in this country on all sides before anyone on the left does this cucked, we disavow violence is bad bullshit. This is the world Trump is building. Stop blindly closing your eyes to it and pretending it's not happening. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? The dude literally never provides any examples, any rule. Like, what are you talking about, dude? America, after 20 more people get assassinated. I don't know, guys. It's getting real bad out there. I don't know what this is supposed to mean, but of course, he's like, of course, dude. Of course. Like, was there any doubt? Why would you tweet something this retarded? Source tell me Charlie is stable, please. Okay, that's not. I'm actually with him on that one. This is retarded. He's not, there's no way he's stable. Who's going to do it? Oh, wow. So this was Destiny. So if you guys saw, they already changed the Wikipedia. And so Destiny called for them to do that. That's cute. Nice. I mean, it's accurate probably, but.
Hey guys, if anybody's still remaining, I'm gonna answer some questions or comments, and we're gonna watch Dr. Todd Grande regarding the chick that got stabbed in the North Carolina subway. So give me a second, please, and to not be rude. And if anybody's still here, I'll address your comments. Okay, so please give me a second. Oh man, it's taking forever. Just let me go to the channel. Oh god. Yeah, give me a second, guys. My bad. This is taking a while. I'm a boomer tard. I'm not really good at computers. Alright, let's see. My guess is it was a nation with whom Kirk was publicly allied, who done for him. Dawn Hammett says, Bandera falsa. And Dawn also says, maybe don't cuss in the same, in the same breath of my voice. Hey man, I really don't, men cuss, dude, because on the fly, grammar doesn't match with the, I don't know, dude. There's a difference between talking dirty and gratuitous and saying cuss words, guys. Jesus says that these fuckers are cucks and that we should whoop their ass because they're fucking evil. So he said it through his servant King David. So I don't know what evangelical, Protestant, fucking puppy dogs and rainbows, manifestation, new age shit you're about, but we converse like men here. So let's watch Dr. Todd Grande, and he's going to elaborate how much people are bitches for not helping that chick. Give me a second, guys. So he's gonna elaborate. It's so fucked up, dude. Okay, hold on. There's just some stupid shit going on.
SEC Network, your home for SEC football.
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of DeCarlos Brown and Iryna Zarutska. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. DeCarlos DeJuan Brown was born in the early 1990s and lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. His criminal history started in 2007 when he was still a minor. In 2011, he was arrested for speeding and shoplifting. In 2015, he was sent to prison for robbery with a dangerous weapon, breaking and entering, and larceny. This was in connection to two separate incidents.
People who don't accidentally cuss are docile as shit.
This 23-year-old girl who escaped her war-torn home country to start a new life in the United States is dead. She was murdered on a public light rail train in Charlotte, North Carolina in a shocking attack, an unprovoked attack, according to police, by a man with a lengthy criminal record. The murder of Iryna Zarutska is causing outrage nationally and internationally. And
Hello, this is Dr. Grande. Today I will analyze the case of DeCarlos Brown and Iryna Zarutska. First, I'll look at the background of this case, move to the timeline of the crime, then offer my analysis. DeCarlos DeJuan Brown was born in the early 1990s and lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. His criminal history started in 2007 when he was still a minor. In 2011, he was arrested for speeding and shoplifting. In 2015, he was sent to prison for robbery with a dangerous weapon, breaking and entering, and larceny. This was in connection to two separate incidents that occurred in 2013 and 2014. DeCarlos was released in September 2020. In February 2021, he was arrested for assaulting his sister after allegedly biting her. Ultimately, she decided to drop the charges due to her concern for his mental health. This same month, DeCarlos was arrested for trespassing and injury to personal property. In July 2022, he was arrested for disorderly conduct. In January 2025, DeCarlos was arrested for misuse of the 911 system. This occurred during a welfare check. He told the police something about man-made material that was controlling his eating, walking, and talking. The police told him there was nothing they could do about that. DeCarlos became angry and called 911. This is what resulted in his arrest. He was released after signing a written promise to appear for his next court date. This was part of the cashless bail strategy being used in the area. During his criminal career, DeCarlos had been arrested a total of 14 times. Nothing says you can trust me to make my next court date like 14 prior arrests. In 2014, the year before he was sentenced to prison, DeCarlos was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He was homeless and occasionally stayed in shelters.
Wow, this is unbelievable.
Check those out.
Where'd you get all these chalices?
From bars all over the country.
Really?
Yeah, I'm one state short of all 50. You want to go to Wyoming?
Why not?
You got any cowboy boots?
Of course.
Shelters. The other key person in this story is Iryna Zarutska. She was born on May 22, 2002 in Ukraine. There she earned a degree in art and restoration. In August 2022, she, her mother, and her siblings moved to the United States from Ukraine to escape the war. Iryna worked for a pizzeria in Charlotte and attended community college for a couple of years. She dreamed of being a veterinary assistant. Now moving to the timeline of the crime. On August 22, 2025, DeCarlos Brown was riding the Lynx Blue Line train. This light rail line is part of the Charlotte Area Transit System, otherwise known as CATS. He had a habit of failing to pay for transportation on the system and had boarded the train on that day without paying a fare. As DeCarlos sat on the train, he appeared to be upset, making several unusual facial expressions. He may have been responding to internal stimuli, like he could have been hearing voices consistent with his diagnosis of schizophrenia. At 9:46 p.m., Iryna boarded the train at the East-West Boulevard light rail station in South End. She had just finished work at the pizzeria and was on her way home for the day. She sat down in the seat in front of De Carlos and looked at her phone. She had her earbuds in. Iryna did not communicate with anyone on the train and was minding her own business. 4.5 minutes after Iryna boarded the train, De Carlos produced a folding knife and opened it. A few seconds later, he stood up, grabbed the bar of the seat in front of him with his left hand, and stabbed Iryna 3 times with the knife he was holding in his right hand. She pulled her knees to her chest and looked up at De Carlos. About 15 seconds later, she collapsed on the floor. Other passengers on the train saw what was happening, but may not have immediately realized that Iryna had been stabbed. De Carlos walked around a little bit trying to exit the train. 90 seconds after the stabbing attack, passengers started rendering aid to Iryna. At 9:52 p.m., De Carlos exited the train, just after removing his sweatshirt and wrapping his hand with it. His hand had been injured during the fatal attack. At 9:55 p.m., the police received a 911 call reporting that a woman had been stabbed on the train. The offender was a black male wearing a black shirt and a...
Hey, so if there's any Christians offended at my cussing, well, look, I don't have the sophisticated vocabulary to keep up with on-the-fly, passionate, adrenaline-infused fucking rhetoric. I don't have it, okay? So I didn't spend my life being a docile bookworm. I spent my life training to whoop everything's ass, which MAGA needs to do to take back the country, but they won't.
Sweatshirt and blue jeans. The police arrested De Carlos on the train platform and charged him with first-degree murder. The murder weapon was recovered near the platform. At 10:05 p.m., Iryna was pronounced dead. At least one of the stab wounds was to her neck. On September 9, 2025, De Carlos was also charged with a federal crime, terrorist attack, or other violence against a mass transportation system. At the time I'm making this video, De Carlos is being held without bail and working his way through the criminal justice system. Now moving to...
And like I mentioned before, guys, be rest assured that in court, you cannot jump over the fucking wall and start stabbing the shit or beating the piss out of him because the cops will prevent you. He's going to get protective custody. He's going to plead insanity. And if he does get the death penalty, he's going to ride out on death row for 20 or 30 years, living out his whole life, get free Medicare, get free health care, free dental shit, 3 square meals a day, right, in a peaceful little setting before he gets humane treatment and lethal injection. Give that fucker the gas chamber and make it a public exhibition like on halftime in football.
Analysis. Here are my thoughts on a few areas that stood out to me in this case.
If you're an alleged Christian and you don't believe in my idea to make this guy get the electric chair on halftime at the Super Bowl, comment that. Just comment that you regard the sanctity of the murderer because he's supposedly also made in the image and likeness of God, or whatever fucking cuckold fucking ideas you have.
Number 1. The Charlotte area transit system does not have any police patrols on the trains. Rather, security has been outsourced to a private company since December 2024. The contract with this company is for 218 security personnel, but 15% of the positions are currently vacant. There was no security on the train where the attack occurred. Item number 2.
Okay, this is where I'm going to get checked in all my videos. This is where I have to redact, okay? The security that they're going to hire, like I consider myself committed security. The security they're going to hire is going to be a bunch of punk-ass lazy kids that aren't going to do nothing but whip their cell phone out and video record and hopefully report later. Because if you remember, in late 2024, an illegal migrant lit a woman on fire in a New York subway, and all people did was stand around and fucking film it with their cell phone. They didn't even try to take a piss on her. New York is cold. Nobody took their jacket off and tried to fucking beat her with it to fucking fan out the flames. are fucking like wrapping around her. They all watched her melt as a human fucking torch. And that can happen to you because this generation is full of vipers and godless ass fucking sodomites.
As I mentioned, DeCarlos Brown had been diagnosed with schizophrenia in 2014. The symptoms of this disorder include hallucinations, delusions, disorganized speech, disorganized behavior, and negative symptoms like reduced emotional expression. This disorder greatly affected DeCarlos. His sister said that after his release from prison, DeCarlos struggled to hold conversations and jobs.
Remember I said, guys, ABC News, I showed a fucking picture on a different video up and coming. That ABC News is trying to gather sympathy for the fucking guy who killed this fucking precious chick, beautiful ass chick that should have defected to Russia instead. And they're trying to paint him in a good light. And that fucking, I saw that shit on a stupid Metro PCS dumbass device. So you guys out there who boycott shit, go tell those fuckers to reverse their decision ASAP.
And would sometimes become aggressive. After the alleged murder, DeCarlos told her that he stabbed the victim because she was reading his mind. DeCarlos appeared to be paranoid. He believed the world was against him and the government had implanted a chip in him. His mother indicated that he was more aggressive after getting out of prison. She told the media that he should not have been allowed to roam the streets. On August 17, 2025, 5 days before the fatal attack, DeCarlos showed up at his mother's house and asked to spend the night there. The next morning, she dropped him off at a shelter. Item number 3, it's not clear what legal strategy will be adopted by DeCarlos, but one possibility would be mounting a defense based on insanity. In both North Carolina and the federal system, for a defendant to succeed with this strategy, they must prove by clear and convincing evidence that they were suffering from a mental disease or defect which prevented them from
And they're gonna take compassion on him because they're afraid of riots in the street and shit like that. That's what's gonna go down.
the nature or wrongfulness of their actions. Realistically, DeCarlos has a low chance of succeeding with this defense in North Carolina or in the federal system. There are many factors here that point to his guilt. He was aware that he had schizophrenia and a history of violence, that he was carrying a knife. He wasn't even supposed to be on the train. He did not pay the fare. He removed his sweatshirt after the attack. This may have been to wrap his injured hand, but he also may have done it to change his appearance, to avoid detection. DeCarlos threw the knife away after exiting the train. If he didn't recognize his actions were wrong, why get rid of the evidence? And even if DeCarlos is telling the truth, and he truly believed that Iryna was reading his mind, that was not justification to kill her. My guess is that a jury will see this case as a man who had schizophrenia and committed murder, as opposed to a man who committed murder because he had schizophrenia. Item number 4, what do I think happened in this case? This is just a theory, my opinion.
Here are 10 employment law violations in less than 30 seconds.
Sarah, you look so hot today. Wow.
My opinion. DeCarlos had a devastating mental disorder, schizophrenia, which made it difficult for him to comply with societal norms. The authorities were aware that his particular expression of symptoms contributed to him being dangerous, but they did not have the will to follow through and ensure he received proper mental health treatment. Schizophrenia is a frustrating disorder for both people who have it and for society. The majority of people with schizophrenia are not violent. However, some represent an ongoing threat to others. It can be difficult to predict who will be safe and who will be dangerous. Research tells us that the 6-month prevalence of violent behavior by people with schizophrenia is 19%. When dealing with this relatively small group, there is no good answer to fix the problem. There is no magic solution to make the symptoms go away or even to eradicate just the violent component. Schizophrenia is very difficult to effectively treat and sometimes requires long-term inpatient hospitalization, which is extremely expensive. To avoid this cost, society often ignores the problem, knowing that most people with schizophrenia will never murder anyone. They just hope for the best. On occasion, the flaw in the strategy becomes evident, as in the case of DeCarlos Brown. The events on the Lynx Blue Line could be thought of as a metaphor for society's attitude toward schizophrenia. No one was looking directly at DeCarlos when he was upset in his seat. or even later when he stabbed his victim. The other passengers did not immediately recognize what happened. Perhaps some did not want to get involved at all. They were just hoping the entire situation would magically disappear. This is an analogy for the incredible lengths that people will go through to ignore schizophrenia. The problem is that ignoring the disorder does nothing to mitigate the risk. Hoping people with schizophrenia will magically improve is not the answer. There needs to be a commitment to provide competent and ongoing treatment. Now moving to my final thoughts. Several different factors contributed to the murder in this case: the irresponsible and criminal behavior of DeCarlos Brown, the lack of security on the train, an unrealistic attitude by society towards schizophrenia, and a criminal justice system that allowed DeCarlos.
To be honest, this is, like I said, I had to redact what I said earlier, that private security is more necessary than police presence, because police presence never can arrest assassins like Trump with the Black Rock kid, and they can't figure out that there's somebody on the roof pointing a gun straight at the president, like it's on purpose, right? And then they go and tackle a regular vagrant with a BB gun and say, aha, we got the fucking assassin, right? He's talking a bunch of shit. But to be honest, guys, you need to look out for yourself and fight for your rights, because the security they're going to hire is going to be some minimum wage goober that's going to be on his cell phone all day, that can't wait to get off of work so that he can eat a huge fucking pizza, watch fucking Pornhub, go to sleep, and fucking do it all again. They're not going to be committed to your safety. They just want an easy check because they don't want to go and do mechanics or fucking welding and shit. Older heads like me, we have to do security because we're just so badass. We might as well get paid for being formidable.
Be free, despite his repeated acts of violence. Instead of reporting on the story and working toward a solution, the mainstream media decided to suppress this case. They did not want anybody to know what happened on that train because they believed it eroded their liberal agenda. Now that the story is out, it has exposed the dangers of ignoring schizophrenia, as well as the dangers of the media. Those are my thoughts on the case of DeCarlos Brown and Iryna Zarutska. Thank you so much for watching. I'll talk to you soon.
A Japanese knife for $20? Holy shit, this deal is insane. But they
yeah, so there you have it, guys. Thank you for joining and stuff like that. I'm gonna see comments or lack thereof, okay? Because everybody's allergic to toxic masculinity nowadays, so I'm pretty sure everybody fucked off. Okay, yeah, so there's no new people. So anyways, you guys, keep on rocking in the free world, and you're welcome, and we out. We out. Wow, so I don't know why, anyways. Yeah, guys, gotta go. Good morning, good night, sayonara. Where is food? That's the video, guys. I gotta turn the phone off or something. Later on.